Welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hilton Path, and I just like having these little talks the way I feel about things. I'm a little winded. I just kind of danced it out a little bit. I dance. I love to dance. I've always loved to dance. I've always loved music. It's always been a constant for me. All kinds. I used to say I don't like polka, like Hispanic music, because I don't understand what they say. Now I don't mind it. Now I don't need to understand what they say. The vibe is the same. It raises your vibe. Music is music, and it tells me a lot about people's culture. You know what they sing about, and things like that. We're all the same. We're all connected. More and more people are starting to figure it out and treating each other accordingly. I saw a beautiful thing yesterday. Saw a man in scrubs. With all the foot traffic I've ever seen, and I've lived here 4 years, and in July, on July 16th, I've lived here 4 years in Salem, Oregon, and honestly, the amount of traffic on this road, I mean, I've told stories throughout my tube here, so they're in there, it's just kind of been an annoyance, and all it's really, it's really brought me to the knowing that I want to live not in a town. This man was walking, he was pushing a woman in a wheelchair, and the woman was slunched over, like all the way slunched over. That was her posture. And she did not raise her head, and she wasn't very responsive much at all in the wheelchair. She had a blanket over her, and it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day. And most people probably didn't think, probably just by looking at her, don't think that there's a lot going on there. A spirit's a spirit. And as long as the spirit is in the vessel, our soul sack, it deserves to be respected, nurtured, loved. And the man was pushing her up the street. I don't know if she lives close by. I've never seen her before. Like I said, I've never seen it. But I felt compelled to thank the man. I didn't, and maybe one day I'll have a chance to do that, because I didn't at this time, which isn't ordinary for me. To keep things to myself when I'm moved by spirit, source, something good, But I wanted to thank him for taking her out, showing her how beautiful life is. And he stopped next to the stream, and I'm like, and he looked at it, and just being see, that's the thing, is the human spirit, the body knows. As far as healing is concerned, there's so many wonderful ways that people are opening their mind to healing, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. What I can and can't live with, ethics. But that was kind of a neat thing. And I hope I see more of that. Because neither of them had masks on. They were just out for a nice walk. This ain't my sickness. I'm healthy. I think about how many... I used to work at this security company, big company. And I worked with this woman who I could not frickin' stand. And she just, it was a very low vibrational being. And she had 2 young children. And so that's how I know that patterns continue, is either these kids are going to have enough strength and conviction of themselves to overcome the teachings of their mother, which not usually happens, or they're going to be more of the same. But anyway, this kid was like only 3 years old, and I didn't live there a very short time, or I worked next to her a very short time at this time, and he had already been on antibiotics twice in the time, and it's like, you get a sniffle, put him on antibiotics, keep everything clean. See, that's why poor kids like me, people who grew up poor, we don't get sick, because we freaking were around dirt, and that's how antibodies are created. You get sick. You get the chicken pox. You go through it, you get sick. But it doesn't kill you, doesn't make you stronger, it gives you antibodies. Until they make it in the lab, like anthrax. And like snake poison, which is, useful. Snake, you need, antivism in the snake is actually the venom of the snake. So I wonder if, I don't know. Anyway, so some of the things I was thinking about ethically, about modern advances, because I remember when I was a little girl growing up in it, and we'd have to go down for the custody crap exchange, the kid swap, That just means we go to Grandma's house is all that meant. So we go to Grandma's house in Tascadero, and there are lizards everywhere, blueberry lizards everywhere. There's some blue, some, and the poison one, I can't remember what, but don't touch those, because those are the poisonous kind, and, and all that stuff, and you touch their tails and they'd fall off, stuff like that. Some lizards, their tails grew back. I think Tucker's gonna come busting in here a second. He just jumped down. There he is. Hey, Bubba Tuck. Come on, Bubba's. Come on. Come on in. Come on, handsome. Come on, good boy. So, Mama, you can't the doors closed, Mama. Come on, good boy. Come in, doing a video. This is why it's hard to do lives, because there's 2-minute stuff. Hit the hydration station before you come lay down. Good boy, hard pants. Okay, so what was I talking? Oh, the lizards of the tails that fall, and some of them grew back. And now I'm thinking about how, like, how they're using fish skin and stuff for burn patients in medicine. And cooperation is nature's way. I know that. Earth gives us everything we need to heal naturally. So ain't nobody got to get rich from crap they're making in the lab, because if people realized how much stuff dandelion root did, they would be eating the leaves in salads every day in restaurants and stuff like that. But because somebody said it was a weed at some point, and a man came up with Roundup to kill the weed, and he could make more money than what could be made from products made from the dandelion medicine and things like that. So, but good finds a way. Good finds a way, huh? You hit the hydration station. I knew you were thirsty. I knew it in my bones. It's energy. Plus, they're all cycles. Oh, gagging choke. You okay? Can I finish my story? I love you so much. Yes, I do. You're a good boy, Tuck. This little guy, I hate puppy mills. He has a little pig butt because the man freaking slammed his tail in the gate. He came from a puppy mill that was closed down by the USDA, so that's bad. Those lazy fuckers are willing to get off their chairs to go close down a puppy mill, and call in the rescue, Beagle Basset Rescue of the Heartlands, where I got all my guys. They're a very wonderful organization in the Middle West. Yeah, because people have to buy their Glamour Dogs. I saw an article that the dude that was tasked to frickin' do some virus. I don't know. That's all they do. Something like this happens, they keep opening themselves new offices so they can buy new fancy furniture and letterhead and stuff like that, and say, look at we're trying to help. It's just more office space that they fill up with this stuff. Anyway, this guy, he was tasked for some new campaign they had, and this scumbag freaking made a bunch of money from breeding labradoodles, and glamour breeds are the worst. So the people that breed, because they're bred and they have all kinds of physical abnormalities, because it's crazy mad science. It's not natural. They just breed and breed and it's all this interbreeding and stuff. So there's all these genetic defects that these animals have to live with. And then the parents, the people, have to live with. And if they love their animal, it's just uncause for more, because people have to, it's a sex trade for dogs. That's all animal breeding is. See his little pigtail? He used to have a regular tail until somebody, he wasn't moving fast enough, so the man slammed his tail in the gate, and it zigzags. Huh. He has a good, joyful life now, because I love him, and I try so hard not to even get mad. And I'm passionate, so I talk loud, and they can be like, so I have to keep my emotions in check, because they had lived in so much fear and turmoil, And more people experiencing that on Earth. So I'm getting off my talk about the medicine. So what if... what if we're getting to the point where people are going to incorporate more? What if there is gene therapy one day? What if there is? What if they find out, that the lizards and stuff that grow back, that you could splice human DNA with lizard DNA? Maybe being part lizard isn't all bad. Would people do that? I mean, ask yourselves ethically, with all the stuff that we've ever heard about the bad lizard people and stuff like that. I mean, if you had lost a limb or lost a finger or lost, something, and it could potentially grow back, would you do that? Because I see the potential of of this stuff happening, and if I can imagine it, then that means there's a percentage of the population of the planet of other people that are imagining it. And somebody's going to imagine it with the means to make it happen. If it's not me. So I'm throwing my attention out there. You need pay. See, that's what I'm all about, the ideas. I'm not good about follow through, to every idea of every project I ever come up with, because that doesn't sound fun to me. But I'm all about the ideas. I can just give me a little parcel of land on a mountain in Northern California, and I will freaking give people ideas all day long. But don't show up unannounced, because I don't like it. Anybody in the chat today? I say that because I go back and forth, because the chat's in the other window. I'm looking at this window, and it's just my OBS. It's a window of me talking to my dog. My OBS setup with all the tools and stuff like that. And then I go over here to the tubes, where one person is watching, and no one is in the chat. So it's what people can live with. And I thought what started me thinking about this whole line of thinking is, man places camera in eye socket. It's a video. And that's the thing, is I don't know if this stuff is real or not. It doesn't matter. For every story that there's a little lies in every story, and there's truth in every story. So I don't know if a man really freaking I'm sure. I don't know if this story is true about the man that freaking lost his eye when he was a kid and then had a camera put in there. I don't know if it's true or not. The thing of it is the potential of all this stuff being reality exists. I don't know if I am so sensitive. I'm one of those sensitive types, and I know more and more people are becoming like me. Your taste, my taste, I'll ask people, I go into restaurants, and I'll go, do you have pie? Yeah. Do you wrap it in cellophane? Yeah. Okay, no thanks. If they put cellophane on top of their pie, I can't eat it, because I will just eat cellophane tainted flavored pie. That's how, I don't drink because I'm so sensitive to alcohol, and it puts me in places that lets my ego do things I don't want to act like that in this incarnation, so I just abstain. But there's a little while that I fell off the wagon a little bit, and so I was doing wine tasting up at the grocery store, because I always wanted to learn about wine. I learned a lot about wine. Got to meet a handful of the people in the local vineyards that own the local vineyards, and stuff. So I could have a conversation with people about wine without ever having to drinking again, based on the experience that I had doing that. So, but I could taste the cleaning detergent on the glass in the wine too. That's how sensitive I am. Smells? Oh my gosh. It's so bittersweet, because spring right now, the smells that come in through my window are so good, and then there's freaking constantly lawn mowing, so I'm always smelling that underlying array of freaking gasoline and oil. Just like on base. It's all so bittersweet. But I imagine people that can't, because my mom doesn't smell. She doesn't smell. She doesn't have the sense of smell. And I know when people don't smell that oftentimes food is very bland too. And those are some of the things, those other parts of my senses are parts of me that make life worth living. To me, the idea of doing the same thing over and over every day is complete torture. That's why I'm always switching it up. That's why I get, what do you want to eat, Mom? If you could eat anything, what would it be? Because we eat good, clean, healthy food. We always have. We never ate a bunch of junk, and we're better off for it because now people are finding more that health is your wealth. And what people do to their bodies, man, let me tell you a little story. I have no shame. I have no shame. What I talk about and the reasons why I talk about them is because if somebody else has any problem and can relate to this, if it makes you feel better that I've had the same experience, it's good. When I was a little girl and they cut my hair shorter and I looked like Nicholas on Age is Enough, I hated going to public restrooms. Because people thought I looked like a little boy. And they'd say, are you a boy or a girl? You're in the wrong restroom, and reprimand me and berate me. And I was where I was supposed to be. It's just people that have to be bossy and tell people what to... There's just the shit stirs. The shit stirs is what I call them. Just leave me alone. I'm a little kid. People always like picking on me. It's alright. I'm tough. I can handle it. So... as a result, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go into it. Especially like if a pretty girl went in, I would forget about it. No way. And so I hold it until I couldn't hold anymore, and I pee my pants. Yep. Yep. So when I was about 12, 13, I started getting all kinds of bladder infections and stuff like that because I'd hold it. So had to go to a urologist. They thought they had to do all these tests. They determined the tube from the urethra, from basically my bladder to was too thin. So they have these metal rods about this long. They go up in meters and they stick them in series to stretch out the urethra, and it is very, very painful. So I've learned how to admit pain a long time ago. I just don't want to have to anymore. It's like, you can do it, but then body gets to a point, it's like, do it for selective, you get older, you stop doing the shit that's painful, and then when the things happen that, like you lose loved ones and stuff like that, it's selective. But, so, and at one point in time, they had to do x-rays, and they put about 3 liters, yeah, it's a lot, of orange dyed fluid in my bladder. And then I had to lay on a table, and they said, okay, now pee on the table, and we're going to do x-rays as you pee. And we are conditioned to pee on a toilet. Potty training. We were trained. And of course, like if you're an outdoorsy kid, you pee in the you pee in the woods, stuff like that, but conditioning is, you pee. And it took they had to turn on water. I couldn't do it. And I had to. It's freaking 3. That's a lot of fluid. I had to, and it took a while, but I did it. Because I had to, that was a good step in me learning how to, these are the things that I've been through to not worry about what other people think about me. So there's different things that I can live with. And now I'm going to be a little old lady. I'm going to be one of those people in diapers. So look for lines in the red carpet. Because I can't be too far from a bathroom now. But this is because these are the things when you are not careful in your body all along. And if you do things just like holding it, that when you get older, that's why. That's why Incontinent List. Because, maybe more kids felt like me, didn't feel like they were going into the wrong or right bathroom, or uncomfortable about, or whatever their things were. So now when I meet other people, I can have a little closer understanding. Yeah, I know it sucks. You can't ever, And then when women that have babies, I ain't never had a baby. Women that have babies, they freaking pee from sneezing and stuff like that. But these are common things that everybody goes through. Nobody ever talks about, because they're too busy talking about bullshit reindeer games like, I don't know, how we can ruin a country in less than 250 years. And how many ways we can prove on a daily basis that money matters more than people. And how many ways can we show people that we dupe them every day with religions and all this big business and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Welcome through the cracks. If you're seeing me, you've probably fallen through the cracks too. Anybody in the chat? Nope. Alright, that's all I got for... Okay, did I say everything I wanted to say? Oh, it's what people can live with. I think I said everything about that. But I think that I thought about that. I thought it would be really interesting if you know, if there was... See, because what I believe in is you don't get to mess with people's free will. So you don't get to kill animals, people, kids, things, do anything like that to take any juice, part of their DNA, to use anything to advantage yourself. And you don't get to manipulate people to talk them into coercing it to do that, to do it either. You know? You know, if they want to donate that stuff at the end of their life or whatever, okay, that's a different weird transaction between people, whatever. But that's the thing, is people have free will and you can't take that away. And so all that low vibrational behavior of people that have, because they benefit from it, karmically, it's not supposed to exist, and y'all should be grateful that you got away with your shit as long as you did. And that hasn't been as gnarly, and that freaking we haven't been hit by asteroids, and you know, the Pacific Northwest hasn't seen a wall of water 4 miles high. And that these things haven't happened. Because there's a potential for every reality. Every single one. You know, and every day we have an opportunity. Are we going to live more towards light, or are we going to freaking go for that almighty dollar that is backed by people? Real. Economic, government, religious systems, made up reindeer games. See the difference? Nobody cares. So I wonder if one day we're going to have people that are having growing back parts, and people are going to be like, oh, you got the lizard juice in you. I don't know. Because there are lizards, and starfish. I believe starfish are the same thing. I think starfish, their arms grow back. Yeah. So maybe I wonder if there's a connection between starfish and lizards. If they have the same parts in their DNA. This is the stuff that I would look, but see, I wouldn't look, see, balance sucks. Being a balanced person frickin' sucks. What do you do? Is that all the notes that I had? 11. I think that's all the notes I wrote for today. I'll be back later, because I know there's going to be more stuff I want to talk about, but Mom and I were talking about that this morning, and I was like, huh. You know, it's all about what people can live with, you know? It's all about people. I think about, you know, one of the main reasons why I am so adamant about strong in my convictions is because none of the good old boys, if I was a dude, I could have fit it like my brother. I would be just as freaking successful. I would be in high government in California too. I would be freaking, I would be running shit if I was a dude. You know? I could have like 2 girlfriends, 3 girlfriends hanging out, looking out for mom, you know? One look, you know? I could be running, but it's ego. And karma was shown to me a long time ago, and the stuff that you got to do to get there, man, I can't do that stuff. I don't want to be the person that does that stuff, so I'd rather be the frickin' 46-year-old frickin' kid at heart, you know, living in a light bright, hanging out with my dogs and my mom, trying to be an example of, you know, making right choices may not get you a lot in life, but God, I sleep so good at night. I sleep so good. I got to sleep in today. My buddy and I were talking about that yesterday, about we never get to sleep in, and lo and behold, today I got to sleep in till like 8:30. I'm on top of the world. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.